Hello and welcome back. Today's video will focus on the ISTE standards, the what, the why, and the how. My name is Brenny Coomer, and I'm the coordinator of instructional technology in BCSC in Columbus, Indiana. I'm a graduate student, and if you have any questions in this PD session, feel free to message me. My contact information is on the screen and at the end of the slideshow. Let's get into it. So, what is the purpose of the ISTE standards? We know there's a lot of technology out there, more than ever before. How can we make sure that we're using it in meaningful ways, not just substituting the same old tasks, but using technology in innovative ways that promotes activities and learning and communication that wouldn't be possible if we didn't have technology, taking learning and doing things that have never been done before. The ISTE standards is what was made to help guide this. ISTE is the International Society for Technology and Education, and they developed the ISTE standards, which are a group of standards and objectives to help teachers design learning experiences that promote students to become 21st century ready. So the purpose behind the standards is to give guidance, and they're based on research. They're aligned with initiatives such as the P21 framework we've talked about before. They enhance technology implementation by moving the conversation to where it's not so much about a specific tool and how to use it, and technology is this thing in the classroom, but giving information and guidance that bring in the pedagogy and the leadership and the growth so that there's research and science behind technology's usage that make it more sustainable for the future. So we're going to go into discussing the standards for students and educators. What does this mean for our students? The idea behind the ISTE standards is to strive towards your students reaching these specific standards and mastering them. So standard number 1 out of 7 is students are empowered learners. They understand how to leverage technology to determine their own goals, set their own goals, monitor their progress towards them, and to reach them. Standard number 2 for students is students are digital citizens. So they understand how to communicate, use technology, and have an idea of what safe and ethical digital responsibilities involve. Number 3, students are knowledge constructors. So this specific standard talks about how students understand how to curate and do research, use effective research strategies, and take the different curated research information that they've gathered and understand how to explain that and make the connections between those different research pieces and construct arguments and conclusions and solutions to problems. Number 4, students are innovative designers. Students understand how to go through the design thinking process. This specific standard focuses on making sure that students have opportunities to develop those design thinking skills. They understand how to design a prototype or a possible model for a solution to a problem and have opportunities to refine and test and iterate that prototype. Students are computational thinkers, understanding data analysis, using technologies to gather that data. Students are creative communicators. They have the ability to express themselves clearly and creatively, which involves giving students opportunities to select appropriate communication tools. And lastly, the last standard out of 7 is to become a global collaborator. In this specific standard, the mastery is focused on giving students opportunities to broaden their perspective and understand that learning doesn't have to take place in just a siloed school environment, but there should be opportunities for connecting with diverse groups and different groups in themselves using technology, value and include those different viewpoints and perspectives, and explore local and global problems and develop solutions towards them. Our next focus, moving on, is how we get students there. How do we help our students become global collaborators and computational thinkers? What does this mean for teachers? Well, ISTE thought of this and they developed the educator standards. And these are things that teachers can try to achieve and master and work towards so that they're effectively including those opportunities for students to have mastery of the student standards. Number 1, teachers are lifelong learners. They participate in professional learning communities, whether that's at their school, on Twitter, or at conferences at a national and global level. They're involved in committees that might give them opportunities to do that. Teachers set professional goals, monitor their progress towards them, and reflect and have those conversations with people that they work with and their administrators. Teachers are educational leaders, so they have opportunities to participate as a leader and give feedback to those in their community, their school, and even their district. They advocate for students' needs as well. So maybe understanding, being a teacher, that not all of the same technology tools or hardware pieces are going to work for every student, and they advocate for their students' diverse needs based on that. and they model the use of using technology appropriately. Number 3, teachers are global and digital citizens. So, like we want our students to be positive digital citizens and understand digital responsibility, teachers have those expectations as well. Teachers create opportunities for students to have responsible contributions online and using digital tools. Number 4, educators as collaborators. Teachers have time to collaborate with others in their school community, in their district. They learn with their students. So they learn what works for their students and kind of take that lifelong learning and build that into their best practices. Number 5, teachers are designers. So they use their design thinking and design learning environments that are student-centered. So they champion authenticity and giving students opportunities to investigate real-world problems. Teachers understand that students have diverse, unique needs and accommodate for those in the learning environment so everyone has an opportunity to learn and be successful. Number 6, teachers are facilitators. So teachers facilitate learning activities and aren't just the sage on the stage, but can be the guide there to help students problem solve, develop solutions on their own, and give students ownership of the learning environment by giving them opportunities to set their goals, reflect, and master the ISTE student standards. And lastly, number 7, educators are analysts. They gather data on student performance and give students opportunities to perform and show their understanding in a variety of assessment types. They share this data and use it to guide communication that they have with parents, administrators, and other stakeholders. So here are some resources for additional research if you're curious on how schools have worked towards implementing these standards in their learning environment. I have some case studies here, YouTube video examples, lots of good stuff there. And lastly, this has been Brenny Coomer, and if you have any questions, please let me know.